report about the Cancer new moon. It's the antidote. Shake it off. Okay, so anyway, this energy likes to manifest through shocking, unbelievable, baffling, and sometimes like really confusing situations, circumstances, and events that can occur in our life that tend to be a little blindsiding. You might be left in a complete state of bewilderment when this happens. Depending on how this energy hits you, it could cause a lot of really sudden and deep wounding. And that's pretty much like a big shock to your system. This energy can be experienced in a number of ways. It can be experienced in a drastic change in opinion about something, or expectations about someone or something might suddenly go through a major change. You might suddenly wake up about somebody's behavior or the way they treat you or the way they treat others, and you might decide, oh, I don't know if I like that. This energy is showing a lot of sudden upset. So people find out that, oh, they become enlightened about this and they're like, I don't know if I like this anymore. And then they might confront it. And so either people are upset all on their own, or with this energy, you're willing to confront these individuals. So it can bring disagreements and conflicts to the surface that seem to come out of nowhere. When likely it was something that was bothering you for quite a while, but you just all of a sudden, nope, not dealing with it anymore, and you're willing to confront them with this energy. And so I see a lot of people are thinking with their emotions, their hurt egos, and their wounded pride instead of logic at this time. This energy can be abusive, almost shockingly abusive in a number of ways. Kind of, it carries a lot of the same energy from the Capricorn full moon, and in fact, a lot of the planets are sitting on the Capricorn full moon degrees. So a lot of the things that were brought up at the Capricorn full moon are now also playing out, but only it's with some new players. So we are a lot more, also with this energy, we're a lot more detached from our emotions. So a lot of people are feeling a lot less loving towards others. And so there could be a fair amount of, and people are like kind of closed off from their ability to show or appreciate or see love. So there's going to be a fair amount of abuse flying around, whether it is mentally, physically, verbally, psychologically, physically, or even financially. Almost any type of abuse would qualify with this influence. Likely from sources you never expected to, and people doing things you never expected they would do, or lines that you never dreamed people would cross. This stress that comes with this influence does have some good aspects to it. The stress causes you to make moves. So where you might have normally just kind of let things happen or whatever, or you would have just put up with it. Now you might decide, okay, I'm going to change this. It's time for this to not happen anymore. It's time to make changes. It gets you to go places you normally wouldn't go and to do things in a whole new different way that you might not have done in the past. Even though it is stressful, with it causing you to make moves, it usually ends up being really beneficial. As long as you make the right moves and you're not doing it out of hurting others. So out of this instability, tension, and chaos, you could actually have some really good things happen. Even though a lot of good can come out of it, it's unlikely a lot of people are going to be able to see the bright side in this upheaval. People will tend to fixate on the negative aspects and they'll only end up seeing the negative parts of the situation. Many could end up experiencing events that cause super intense emotions, or events that almost stun you into numbness. There could be some people that end up enduring torture of seesawing between the two. So it's like you feel intense emotions and then you go numb. When you feel intense emotions and you go numb. And this seesawing could happen at record speeds. These same emotional people are also the ones that are most likely to end up doing some questionable, downright crazy things in attempts to um, re- avenge their hurts or in attempts to control others to please themselves for their own personal pleasure. Especially if these people are naturally manipulative to begin with. They are just crazy enough to think that they can control and manipulate others when they clearly don't even have control over themselves. This is a very sneaky influence as well, if not downright cruel in some respects. You could be enlightened about some sneakiness that has been going on behind your back, and you likely won't see it coming until it's ready to knock you over the head. It won't take much to escalate any situations, uh, and it won't be hard for a situation to run away from you if you end up saying the wrong thing, doing the wrong thing. Even if you're trying to actively de-escalate the situation or diffuse the situation, sometimes it won't matter. It will just keep going. Sometimes you're just not meant to. Sometimes, like, I see a lot of karmic energy, especially with the Capricorn energy, and so it looks like a lot of these changes were meant to be. There's a reason for this. It was meant to bring something to the surface that you might have missed before, that needs to be addressed, and maybe this is the only way that it can be addressed. This influence tends to put bullies on a hunt. Like I said, it tends to make people fixate. So people that are already naturally manipulative, the inner bully will come out, and they might just balls to the wall, just completely off the reserve, go crazy. And then they need somebody to project their inner demons on. So they're going through something difficult, and they're like, okay, we're gonna blame it on this person. This also tends to breed modern day witch hunts because a lot of people are fixated and obsessed, and they're very persuasive as well. So it won't be hard to end up on the wrong bandwagon, especially if you only end up hearing one side of the story instead of both sides of the story. If you hear one side of the story, you're like, oh yeah, you're definitely in the right. That is until you hear the next side. There's also a tendency to join forces and gang up on people for mutual revenge or real or imagined hurts alike. Without a doubt, this energy can produce traumatic events, especially if you have a bunch of people banding together for the wrong cause. If you're faced with a stressful situation, it's best to resist lowering yourself to their level and striking back. This is achievable, but for many, it might be easier said than done. This doesn't mean roll over and play dead, but I wouldn't waste any more energy on it than necessary. It is not likely, if you do try to reach for revenge and try to attack another, it's not likely that you're going to feel as good as you thought you would or you'd hoped after you manage these attacks, and the reaction you get is not likely to be the reaction you expected either. So these people are likely to be let down in more than one way. Just as this influence can cause bullies to become fixated on certain people, it can also cause the victims to become stuck in the same trap. It can cause the victims to also become obsessive and polarized in their thinking. They could easily get fixated on certain thoughts and not be able to get off that train of thought, that thought track they're on. Not all of these thoughts and fixations will be healthy either, and some people could end up finding themselves spiraling in the wrong direction. The good thing is that in these stressful situations, if they're handled properly and handled face on, great healing can be achieved as well. Somehow, after you get over the shock and you look at the broad perspective, which won't be easy with this influence, you're going to have to step back and force yourself to look at the broad perspective of the whole thing. A lot of people are going to be missing that. They're going to be stuck in the emotional sphere, and they're not going to be able to look at things from different angles or look outside the box and be able to see other points of view. But if you manage to look at the broad perspective and focus on healing instead of the wounding aspect of this energy, great, amazing healing can take place, like deep healing that you never expected would be possible, that you were likely not able to achieve in the past. So it looks like a lot of this will be a catalyst for great healing, a lot of these shocks. And the healing will be almost effortless, something that soothes your soul to the deepest aspects, the deepest wounds. Without a question, this influence is likely to have a big impact on your emotions, for better or worse. Or your emotional overall well-being could end up going through minor, major changes, if not a whole complete overhaul at this time. With that being said, a fair number of people are likely to experience erratic emotions that are all over the place, unpredictable emotions, or anxiety that is almost unbearable. This energy can cause, like I said, it can cause thoughts to circle, which can also increase anxiety. Even if you don't typically get or experience anxiety, mental health issues in general are more likely to surface for one reason or another, and it may surface in surprising ways. So maybe it's not exactly the way for the reason you thought it would. And I see a lot of this energy affects the family, the home, or the public in general. So mental health issues are going to surface in the public eye a little bit, whether it's people that just crack and go crazy, or it could be that there's mental health issues in the home or in the family that need to be dealt with. I also seen that there, around the time of this energy, of this new moon, the mental health of inmates were in the public eye, especially the way they've been treated and wrongly, and having their illnesses exaggerated and exacerbated by the way they're being treated. With that being said, with this energy in the sky, it's likely to produce PTSD. It almost screams it. This is actually the kind of energy PTSD is made of. This could mean that you end up learning a lot more about it, or in some cases you could end up having a personal connection to it in some way. With this energy being so conflict and emotionally oriented, to the point of shocking numbness or detachment, and it having these lasting psychological effects for better or worse, one way or another, you could end up having experiences that cause PTSD in minor, major, light to heavy ways. In fact, I'm seeing PTSD was not even accepted as a use for cannabis medicine in Colorado, of all places, where it's legal. This is a major surprise to me, especially given the fact that it's legal in Colorado and that cannabis has been known for a while to be the only thing that actually helps PTSD. I can see this being one of the things that is going to make the public upset and really confused and wonder what is going on here. We're also not feeling the love from government and authority figures at the moment. With that being said, we're also not feeling the love for them the same way that we normally might either. And at the same time, we won't be able to persuade authority figures in our favor, or judges, or parents, or bosses, or at this moment, they're more worried about money and finances and things like that, and they're not really looking to help at the moment. They're more worried about their own concerns. But that won't stay like that forever. That will go away, come back, but it will be off and on. On the other hand, at the same time, you could experience great emotional breakthroughs in your emotional well-being at this time. If you normally let things get to you, you might find a new way of handling it that you may have missed in the past, or you didn't know, or you might come up with new tools that help you to deal with it. I can also see that this would also lead to a lot of the unexpected reactions a lot of people weren't expecting, good or bad. The stars are also showing that not everybody will move in a positive mood, but if you are actively and honestly working in a healthy direction, great leaps in your emotional well-being can be achieved. This energy might give you the chance to pinpoint where real issues stem from and how to face them if you're brave enough. It can help you detach from the experience, your emotions, and to help you look at things a little more objectively. If that is your ambition to do that, you're gonna have to work at it. It's not gonna be that we're all naturally open-minded. It could be the beginning of health issues for some, but at the same time, it could lead to the end of certain health issues, especially mental health issues, or you could have a real breakthrough in how to deal with them to the point where they aren't as big of a triggers. You could also figure out what your deepest triggers are, or better yet, in some cases, who your deepest triggers are and why. In the face of such darkness, it will be a waste of time to reason with people that are simply looking for blind revenge. You can't control others, but you can control the way you handle it and what you expose yourself to. If you find yourself focusing on dark things, don't surrender yourself to the drama others may bring into your life. Try focusing on. If you focus on the drama, you'll end up clouding your ability to the solutions that this energy is also throwing your way. And the positive changes this chaos is actually bringing to you. So if you can avoid the anxiety, calm down and realize these changes are happening for a reason and start looking for the reason, it will go a lot smoother. Try to keep your thoughts as positive as possible. Try to focus on something that actually makes you happy. So even if you've got all this other stuff going on in the background, keep your focus on a positive thing, a positive thing, a positive thing. And before you know it, you won't even have those negative thoughts in your mind. Especially if you can find something that you're passionate about. That's the best place you can be, is working on something. So if you like art, do some art. If you like writing, do some writing. If you have some dream of yours or a hobby, work on it. You might be surprised at what you're able to accomplish and the doors that open for you. It doesn't mean it just focus on making yourself happy. But at the same time, if your happy focus is on making somebody upset or hurting somebody, I can tell you that it's likely to be a path that you're not going to be happy with in the end, that you're likely going to regret. And it won't be as fulfilling as if you actually went to find something that actually made you happy that didn't involve hurting somebody. The best part of this is to keep your energy focused on healing instead of wounding others. Great leaps in psychological evolution are possible at this time. This energy is great for seeking psychological assistance, whether it be from an alternative healer, a doctor, psychologist, or counselor, or whatever. In some cases, your healer could end up being somebody in your life that just ends up saying the right thing at the right time. The more you fight these changes this energy is trying to bring for you, the more it's going to hurt. All I can think about is that song by Maroon 5, "Summer's Gonna Hurt." Yeah, this is why. This lunar energy right here, and the Capricorn new moon too, or the Capricorn full moon too. The more you fight these changes, the more painful it's going to be. A lot of cases, someone important to you emotionally could disappear from your life. But if things were cushy, you would have no reason to make changes. You would just put up with the same BS forever. This energy is all about change. There's no two ways about it. That's what the energy wants. It wants us to change. So why fight it? Why not see where the tides of change are trying to take you? Try to let things roll off your back. Because a lot of people are going to be doing things that they may not even understand why they're doing it. They may regret, or more than likely they're going to regret what they've done, and they likely don't even understand the totality of their actions. If you can't find peace and harmony, distance yourself from the drama, from those people, distance yourself from it and find some harmony for yourself. Find it elsewhere. If you can look for the energy, the benefits the storm brings, instead of choosing to focus on the storm itself, this is where you will end up likely finding the pot of gold in the middle of the storm, in the middle of the hurricane. If please, if you for more information, please like AstroQueen Astrology on Facebook and subscribe to AstroQueen Astrology on YouTube. Thank you.